What is going on, guys? We are back with another video today, and we are here with breaking news. Well, a couple hours ago, but I still wanted to give my opinion on this, especially considering, once again, everything is about Green Bay as a Packers fan, without a doubt. But this does kind of tie in with Green Bay a bit, as this is another huge blockbuster trade involving a star or one of the best receivers in the league. Obviously, maybe not the best, like Devontae was touted as, right next to Cooper Kupp, but very good nonetheless, super fast, and a great player in general, as the Chiefs are trading Tyreek Hill, the Miami Dolphins, which, bravo Miami, right? You got two different types of offseasons. You have the Miami Dolphins offseason, where they are still spending a lot of money, but they're getting some of the best players in the league. And then you have the Jaguars offseason, where they're overpaying players that are mid at best. Of course, this will cost them a bit. They're going to lose pick 29. They're going to lose pick 50. They're going to lose a fourth. And then they're going to lose a fourth and a sixth next year. Now, if you're comparing this to Davante Adams, it's pretty similar, but you got to think 3 picks in the second. They're gaining on Green Bay. However, they lose 7 picks in the most important round, the first round, which I imagine it would cost you at least 2 fourths and a sixth to move up those 7 spots, maybe slightly more. So very similar. I seen someone say Tyreek is worth more than Devontae. I don't think people realize how much first round picks are valued. 7 picks, even at 29 to 22, is still pretty big. So at minimum, it's equal. I'd say even then, Devontae was still slightly more. You also have to factor in that the Chiefs had a bigger, I wouldn't say bigger chance, but they had a better, value for Tyreek, as they could have traded him kind of anywhere. Whereas Green Bay, it was kind of just the Raiders, right? I'm not saying that they couldn't have traded Devontae wherever the hell they wanted, because I don't think he had a no trade clause, but it was mainly the Raiders. And of course, the Raiders probably should have been more willing to give up even more, as, a guy that wants to be there, on top of being quoted as the best in the business at his position. It's not like a bad position. Obviously, it's a very important one. They probably should have been willing to give up a little bit more, but obviously the Chiefs got a decent haul for Tyreek. You have to factor in that they are sort of two different players. I got to say sort of, because Tyreek Hill is still a very good route runner. Maybe not as good as the Devontae Adams or the Cooper Kupps, but still a pretty damn good route runner. He's blazing fast. He is also about a year and a quarter younger than Devontae, so you got to factor that in as well. But Tyreek Hill, there's no question about it that his success is mainly predicated on speed, which obviously diminishes quicker when you get older, versus being just, completely relying on great release, great route running. But at 28, we've seen Deshaun Jackson. He was still blazing fast at like 35. So Tyreek Hill, this is, in my opinion, you can argue that Tyreek Hill is valued a little bit more than Devontae, not in this specific situation, but considering the youth, considering, the speed is blazing. It is just a complete X factor to have Tyreek Hill. Don't get me wrong, Devontae is a great player. It's hard to say, because it's not, a great route runner like Devontae, a great release guy like him. He is very tough to cover, but it just seems like Tyreek is always open no matter what you do, and he moves around so much. It is, he just takes the top off your defense better than almost anyone in the league. Obviously, going to the Dolphins, where Tua has a decent, he's got an okay deep ball, but obviously the arm strength is a bit lacking. Joins Jalen Waddle, another similar type player there. You would have thought maybe they went for a big body, but I suppose they did tag Gesicki, so that's their big body. But you got to love the moves that Miami's doing. They are absolutely having a good offseason. Once again, they still need a lot more. But as far as, some of the big ticket names that have been in free agency that can obviously help your team, they've done a good job. Obviously, Terron Armstead, I will say, is a little risky, as he's missed a lot of games in his career, and they just kind of locked him up for a long time. And obviously, considering he's getting older, you'd have to only imagine those concerns are going to be amplified as, once again, his body continues to get older. I gotta react to this guy in the bottom. I'm not gonna react to him, but he's like, I was first. That huge. It's been such a thing every time someone reports anything. It's I was first. It's like, Yeah, you said 3 first-round picks and Ahmed, which it just wasn't. But yeah, I mean, this is a big move. Miami, they're not done. Of course, little surprised to see him in the conference. Obviously, Miami's not as big of a threat to Kansas City as some of the other teams. I think when you have all these other teams, you can't really be worried about Miami as much as everyone else. I still think Miami is a couple years away, and honestly, the Chiefs definitely take a step back. Obviously, you add Juju Smith-Schuster, but you don't really have that number one anymore, right? Like Tyreek, well, I mean, you have Travis Kelce, but the number one wide receiver, I know Tyreek Hill kind of, moved around a bit, so it's kind of hard to even call him a number one technically, but I mean, Hardman's come a long way. He's good. Juju Smith-Schuster is a distraction, but he's never been really a good number one. Robinson's actually a pretty good player, super underrated. Josh Gordon, I can't really imagine being a huge contribution to that team, but the Chiefs, I mean, they're I mean, I get it, right? Patrick Mahomes was paid a lot. I better hear that. I better see that same energy that people have been getting Rodgers. Oh, you could have kept Devontae if you had money. It's like, well, here's the thing. Maybe, but they did offer him a ton, same as Kansas City did, apparently. But Packers actually offered more than the Raiders did. But Devontae's heart was somewhere else. Before this year even, every single time they played the Raiders, he was always at Derek Carr. They practice in the offseason together all the time. His heart was elsewhere no matter what. So this is a bigger sell on the Chiefs and Mahomes than it is on Rodgers and Green Bay by a mile. It's not like Tyreek is, maybe is, I don't know, I haven't really looked into it. It's not like Tyreek's like, oh, it's been a dream to play in Miami. I love the Dolphins. I love Tua. It's not like he's been saying that. It's not like he's like, hey, I really want to go to Miami and play for Tua. And, I don't think I've seen anything like that. But of course, it's been no secret that Devontae has wanted to be a Raider his whole life. He wanted to play with Derek Carr again. And of course, it just happened. So I will say, as a Packers fan, this kind of feels good. It feels good. Of course, it also helps that the Chiefs aren't the most OP team in Madden. Well, maybe they're still pretty good. But I don't know if they're as OP anymore. Tyreek Hill's a freak. I'm really mad because I had a video that came up obviously a little bit earlier. Check it out. A free agency / trade video of all the players on one team. Could they win a Super Bowl? And obviously, this would have played a factor. Tyreek Hill would have been on that team, obviously, but it is what it is. It is what it is. And the timing of that upload, it literally came up maybe a minute or two before I woke. Oh, man, I was up all night doing videos, and why can't they ever just wait a day? Just wait a day when or wait a couple of hours. It's always like middle of the day, break of dawn. Well, not break of dawn, but noon. And yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. How many years do you guys think Tyreek, everything's Devontae. How many years do you think Tyreek Hill has in him? Once again, people are like, oh, his speed, that's his thing. He's going to diminish so quickly. It's like, he's 28 and he has otherworldly speed. So when he's 32, he's still going to be faster than the majority of wide receivers in the league. He's a freak. And once again, he's a super hard worker. His route running's insane. He just, I don't know. He just seems like a good player. And I think Miami obviously needs good players, simply put. The haul was pretty fair when you compare it to Davante Adams. You got to look at, once again, those things that I said with, Davante wanting to go to the Raiders, the Chiefs kind of being able to choose wherever they wanted. I can't imagine, no one else called about him. This is like another thing I don't know about. Like, in Madden, you have a trade block and all that. Like, is there like a secret 32 team group chat where surely they don't, because they have to be secretive while still letting teams know, because otherwise you're losing value potentially. If everyone's on the same page, you could just be like, hey, we got 2 first-round offers for Tyreek, what do you got? They could just be lying. But it just does kind of seem like, a little weird. Like, you want to trade Tyreek to a team that isn't going to beat you, but inter-conference, there's a good chance of that. Could you imagine the pandemonium it would have been if Green Bay would have traded for Tyreek? Of course, they once they got rid of Devontae, they started making a little bit of moves on the market, and they probably wouldn't have been able to pay him. I got to imagine Tyreek's numbers around 24 per, and especially since it's Miami, who, once again, they have Waddle, they've got a couple options, but I think he's one of those like prime ticket guys. He may even get more because of that theory, you know, kind of similar to the Jacksonville Jaguars and the open market. This isn't really an open market thing, but kind of is, because, you know, he also has the leverage of knowing that, hey, you just traded a bunch for me, so I know you're not going to let me hit free agency, I'll tell you that. So I'd say 24 per is probably what you're going to see. But yeah, I don't know. It's basically the move. Might do a rebuild on them tomorrow, as they're doing a pretty good job themselves. Of course, I started working on a Falcons rebuild that maybe not scrapped, but saved for another date or later on. This one seems more fun, and ironically enough, in that rebuild, Tyreek is, once again, he's in free agency a lot, which I guess Madden knew better, and I'm always like, they're not going to let him go, they're going to trade him. Of course, they also let Hardman go a lot, which I'm like, okay, they're going to keep one of them, probably, right? But yeah, that's basically it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Good move once again. Miami just keeps making plays. I don't know how the hell they're doing it, specifically with Terron Armstead. Like, how do you get him to choose there? Is it just because it's Miami? I mean, maybe. I don't know. I mean, money is great, obviously, but yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching. We'll have a second channel video up later today on PK Airplays. It'll be GTA San Andreas. And that's about it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully you guys come back for next video. But until next video, see ya!